What's up, everybody? Welcome to more rSpace. Updated. My drunk brother, 30 male, is texting my wife, 31 female, to come over. We went to a little hangout. They both got messed up. I left the party a little early. I think I caught my brother copping a feel while one of the girls was helping my wife to the car. I wasn't sure, so I asked him, and of course he denied it. Now, he's blowing up my wife's phone and asking her to come over. She's passed out, so I asked him on her phone if he's the one that groped her, and he admits to it. Pretty sucky. Not really close to my brother. Not really the best person. Doesn't work, no school, doesn't help parents even though he lives there. What's the best way of handling this? Update. He actually showed up and knocked on the door around 2 a.m., drunk out of his mind. Of course, I didn't open the door. He still insisted on texting my wife thinking it was her. I didn't want him to keep driving drunk, so I told him to sleep in the car. He drove back and wrecked the car somewhere. The two left tires were messed up and had to be towed back to my mom's house. My dad had to pick him up in the middle of the night. The car did not start either. Today, I confronted him at the park. I asked him what he was thinking. He just kept repeating that he doesn't remember and he wasn't thinking. One of the comments said to him, "I did not, but I wanted to. I'm just going to stay away for a while." The first reaction coming from Freya of Milfgard. What did your wife say? Did you talk to her at all about what happened and why your brother was acting this way? Had it happened before? Competitive Drink 9036 says, he drove back and wrecked the car somewhere. I'm really glad your brother, in his failed attempt to screw your wife, didn't kill people on his drunken drive home. What a piece of crap. Why did mommy and daddy come get him? Why were the cops not called? I'll take responsibility for my language here because it is sharp. It's sharp because drunk drivers have killed sober people I knew and loved with their cars. Can your brother and your family take responsibility for their parts in enabling a drunk driver? Next comment from Management Emotional 5. This guy sexually assaulted your drunk wife by groping her and then drove drunk twice, and we're happy with him saying sorry? What? Why were the police not called? Is your wife okay? Nicantilus chimes in, if anyone's curious, this is how you enable crappy family members. Edit. The list of things OP's brother did wrong is crazy long, and all OP essentially did was say, I'm disappointed. Unless a guy like that faces real consequences, nothing will change, and he easily could have killed someone driving drunk. This isn't a situation where all you do is say you're disappointed and keep your distance for a while. Have some freaking integrity. Lil MX5 chimes in, dude, what the frick were you thinking? He shows up at your house, drunk out of his mind in your own words, and you just let him get back in the car? Why didn't you call the cops? He could have killed someone, and you just sort of go, well, not my problem. Thank God he didn't take anyone's life. Just, Jesus, dude, you're enabling a drunkard who sexually assaulted your wife, put people's lives in danger, and have you even told your wife what he did to her? She has a right to decide whether she wants to see him ever again after that, and you don't get to make that decision for her. You need to tell her. She has a right to know she was assaulted. Do better, man. Be better, because your behavior kind of sucks right now. On to the next story. My best friend cut me out of his life when I warned him his girlfriend was bad news. Turns out, she's been cheating on him the whole time and is going to Florida with the other guy. So, how do I proceed? As stated above, about 4 or 5 months ago, I, male 21, had a major argument with my friend, male 20, about something, and during this, I told him he's never listened to me and that his girlfriend, female 19, was bad news. After that night, I tried to apologize for how heated it got, but I found he blocked me on everything and did not want to talk ever again, even saying we weren't friends anymore. Now, I happened to get contacted by his girlfriend, and she mentioned they argued and broke up. Still caring about my friend, I messaged him, telling him I was here to talk. He messaged and told me he broke up with her because she'd had another boyfriend the whole time they've been dating. She's now going to Florida with this other man, and my friend is coming to me for relief. What should I do? Edit. He was just admitted to the hospital for suicide prevention. I don't know what to do. The first response comes from Not Piffany. Has he apologized for not listening to you earlier? The OP says, no. Little Ladybug 2 responds, then let him go. If he was contacting you because he realized how wrong he was and not because he wanted something from you, then the apology would have been the first thing out of his mouth and he'd be falling over himself trying to make it up to you. If he's just pretending he never did anything wrong, he doesn't deserve your shoulder to cry on. Next comment from Judgmental B. OP has added that he's under suicide watch. If the friend is hospitalized, I don't think an apology would be on his mind at the moment. Not saying OP should be back to normal, but I think the guy will need some time to get over the shock and the worst of the depression before he's considering making amends. An apology is in order, but it might not come immediately, but when it does, I think it still needs to be weighed against how much the friendship was reciprocal and whether OP wants to go back to what it was versus introduce new boundaries, etc. Just a friendly reminder that forgiveness and apologies don't mean you have to forget or immediately trust him the same amount again. It'll take time to mend if you choose that route. Last comment before moving on, coming from Stash Me. Me and my ex-friend went through the same crap. The homegirl said anything nasty she could think of and blocked me out of her life, basically because I said her boyfriend was being weird with their roommate. 3 months passed and boom, roommate kicked out, boyfriend kicked out, and she's losing her mind. She tried to talk to me after that, but honestly, if you're going to do all that because I was worried about how your partner was treating you, then why would I let you ruin my mood for the next couple of months and let myself be used as an emotional drain when I can't even guarantee you won't do the same crap and blow me off when you don't like what I have to say, like you did the first time? We spoke daily for over a decade, and then when she didn't like what I had to say, it was over, and honestly, I was insulted. Like, what did you think the reason why I was telling you this, if not for your own good? Did you really not value me more than that? Was it that worthless you didn't even hesitate to ditch me over a man? Shit's weird, and I wouldn't bother, to be honest. The next story starts, found a fake nail in our bedroom. I, female 21, found a fake nail in my boyfriend's, male 23, and my bedroom, and it doesn't belong to me. We've been together for 4 years. While cleaning our room, I found it laying on the floor. I picked it up and put it in the drawer where he saw it when I left the room and threw it away immediately. He didn't ask where it came from and apparently didn't think it was weird it was there. I never wear fake nails, and his sister doesn't usually either. She wasn't over at ours recently anyways. What do I think of it? I'm very non-confrontational, and at this point, I'd rather just ignore it. I usually trust him 100%, but I also couldn't think of a scenario of how this nail landed in our room. Should I ask him where it came from? The first response comes from Queen of Chaos 6. If it's really bugging you, talk to him about it. You don't need to go crazy and be like, "Why was there a nail in our room? Are you freaking cheating?" But if you want an answer, bring it up calmly. "Hey babe, X time ago I found a random fake nail in our bedroom. I wanted to talk to you about it, but I forgot. Do you know where it came from?" And then keep his response in mind. His response is very telling. If he immediately gets defensive and, "I'm not cheating, how dare you accuse me?" then that's a major warning sign. If his response is more like he usually is, then it was probably brought in by either you or him accidentally, but his response is key. Next response from Competitive Drink 9036. OP, I'm going to be blunt. You've been dating 4 years and don't know how to raise this question with him? You don't need to be confrontational, but lordy, you do need to communicate. And if you think that communication equals confrontation, please work on ways to reframe that belief because it will only ever get you and him into trouble. I know you say you'd rather ignore it, but if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't have posted on this sub. This is the opposite of ignoring it. Just for Fun 01 has our last comment before moving on. You've been together for 4 years and don't know how to communicate with him yet? Good lord, ask him what the deal is. The next story. My wife, 25 female, says she cares more about our dog than my, 26 male, kids. My wife and I do not have any kids together. I had them in a previous relationship, but once my wife, then girlfriend, met the kids, she was wonderful with them and loved them. Over the time that we have been together, around 4 years, there has never been any issues or doubts about her love for them and their love for her. But now, I don't know how to feel. Before we got married, I told her that I do not want any more kids because I have been basically raising kids since 9 or 10 years old. Crappy parents, long story for another time. I told her that if I wasn't so young and dumb before, I probably wouldn't have kids currently. Still love my kids with all my heart, and I'm trying to be the best dad I can be. She struggled with this information for some time, but has said that she does understand and still wants to be with me. As we move forward, She would call my kids our kids, and I have never had any issues with this, as she loves them and they love her. There hasn't been any big issues, except the ex-kid's mom causing some trouble here and there, but really nothing more than the normal split household. We are on generally really good terms and have 50-50 shared residential custody. I know that it does bother her that she doesn't get to go to every single thing, i.e. my youngest IEP meeting for his speech, but I do my best to talk to her and value her opinion on everything. I mean, hell, I don't even get my way on a lot of things, but that's part of the co-parenting. But Reddit, how am I supposed to react when she says she cares more for our dog than the kids? Edit. This was said as pillow talk, no argument, no anger or anything. We were laying there talking about this and that, and just out of nowhere she hit me with that. I'm not saying that she has to love my kids, or I am expecting her to have a certain type of love for them at all, but this just took me by surprise. I understand that they are not hers, and I really just want to try to understand her. I just want more points of view before talking to her. First reaction from I Hate You 1975. I think she's protecting herself. You can leave and take those kids, as she can do it in the morning about it. The nature of the beast when you fall in love with someone with kids. It sounds awful, but I bet she's just trying to protect her heart. She will never be a mother to her own kids. Your kids have a mother and really just need her as an additional support person. You guys will never have the bond that some parents have because she won't have your kids. She can call them our kids all day, but in the end, they're all yours and their mom's. I'd ask her if she fears this. Next comment from Flax97. My husband and I are divorcing after 21 years. I will probably never see my stepchildren again. They are young people with busy lives in a different country. If they were my children, there would still be that bond. I am sad, but accepting. This is what your wife is protecting herself from. Rosie Apples has another thought. I'm looking at this from her point of view. You've basically told her that she has to accept and care for your kids, which she has, but that she can't have any of her own. I can see why that might make her a bit resentful, to be honest. Monkey Moves 101 has the last comment. She sounds like she wants her own kids. She's probably frustrated. Probably resentful that she decided to stay with a guy who didn't want more kids when she wanted some.